How do you do it? How do you build the perfect athlete? The combination requires one to marry talent with grit, but that's a paradox. How can an athlete, born with incredible gifts, also face enough obstacles and adversity along the way to create a humbling inner drive and a never-give-up spirit? Well, Jett Lawrence has all of it. Talent? Of course. But his background gives him a leg up. The Lawrence family journey, from Australia, through Europe, and over to America, created the grit and grind of a champion, which goes far beyond mere talent. Jett Lawrence did the hard days at Lommel, the famous sand track in Belgium. And any rider who has experienced that will tell you that a cold day in Lommel will harden the soul. But Jett Lawrence's riding style was forged in those conditions.
Training at Lommel a lot. I mean, you very rarely get time to sit down. You look at some of the really good sand riders. You look at Jeffrey, Jorge Prado right now. And we obviously learned a bit off of Stefan Evertar, and I think that's helped us a lot helped me and my brother with standing a lot more, and it's a lot easier to handle a bike when you're standing instead of sitting down. So just those days training at Lommel in the winter, standing up, not getting a break to sit down, it makes your back pretty tired, but now we've got it strong enough to stand a lot more now.
Jett has talent, but he had the best teachers to refine his craft. And now his smooth, stand-up riding style looks like a next-generation version of what Stefan Everts created in the early days of the 450 four-stroke era. He also learned by training with Ken Roxon's father, Heiko. And once he moved to America, he was put to work with Johnny O'Mara, the super fit former AMA Supercross and Motocross champion, and also a key figure in Ricky Carmichael's career. Quietly, Jett spent his teen years learning from some of the most experienced figures in racing. But a lot of it was built on the back of his older brother Hunter, who was leading the way with all the lessons. The whole family learned that way. With Hunter and Jett, Father Darren Lawrence sunk himself into the science of setting up a motocross motorcycle. And when the boys were young, far from immediate help in Australia, and the idea of a factory ride or factory motorcycle not even the most remote possibility, the family had no choice. They would have to learn themselves. Back in 2014, Jett showed his talent with a quick trip to Europe and winning the FIM Junior World Championship on a 65. But the real European journey began when Hunter got a chance to move to Europe full-time a few years later. And young Jett came along as well. His progress there can be charted this way. In 2018, at age 14, but already racing an RMZ 250 in Europe's EMX 250 class, Jett struggled early in the season, either failing to qualify or score points in the first 3 motos of the year. But he ended the 2018 season with a 1-1 sweep in the rough sand of Assen. He had finished a mere 13th in that year's EMX standings before moving to America when his brother got the call. But that time in Europe was so difficult that it had already created a humbling experience that few young elite athletes ever go through. Jett Lawrence had already learned not to live like a phenom. And just before his 16th birthday, he was in America battling other fast amateurs, winning 2 motos, but coming up just short of titles at the AMA Amateur National at Loretta Lynn's. He was still 15, but Jett was already set to go toe-to-toe with any fast amateur. But, unlike many other fast 15-year-olds, he had already learned that success was far from inevitable. The dream of getting to America at all, or winning at all, especially on a 450, seemed so far away at one point that Jett and Hunter Lawrence couldn't even dream of it.
We never really thought we would get this far, even when we're in Europe. The struggles we went through and we actually got to meet Dylan along the way, which is nice. But the times that we had there was such a struggle that we just kind of were in a hole the whole time and just working every single day, lasting off only a couple cent for lunch and dinner, leftovers. We got sick for just hanging our clothes inside because we got mold in an apartment that we're staying in France in the last year. So we've gone through so much struggles, and then even once we got to America, it was, oh, this is sick. We're going to work to there maybe one day and try and get a championship, but a 450 championship on your rookie season, how I've done it so far, no, I feel like I would definitely say you're smoking.
Yeah. It's that journey. working to achieve something that seemed so far away that created the ultimate. A young athlete with great talent who never assumed success would come. And because Jett was in Europe taking those hard lessons at Lommel so young, because it was actually his older brother that got him there, he also got to move to America earlier. So Supercross lessons came just past his 16th birthday, enough to learn quickly and contend for wins almost immediately. And by then, the die was cast. Championships would only happen through constant work, constant refinement, and absorbing the lessons of those around him. How do you build the ultimate athlete? It's talent, plus grit, and a willingness to listen to the knowledge of others. Jett Lawrence has coupled all three components together, and now stands as a 450 motocross champion just days after his 20th birthday. Today, the sky's the limit, but only because of the foundation built when few were watching.